Know more about what will happen next by watching our Border-Free Education video messages. Thank you.
With the introduction of the LMS in 2016, it has enabled our teachers to provide learning experiences for our students that go beyond the four walls of the classroom. The use of the LMS has made it possible for the integrated school to continue providing quality, human, and Christian education.
The integration of the learning management system to the school curriculum transforms the student-teacher roles and relationships. Students take responsibility for their learning outcomes while teachers become guides and facilitators. They become more engaged with their learning with the use of the LMS internal and external LTIs or learning tools.
LMS intensifies collaboration, creativity, and creative thinking skills. Students, even the most introvert ones, become more engaged in performing online tasks and more confident in expressing and sharing their opinions and ideas in class. It facilitates learning easily and through the use of educational online games.
The Learning Management System, or the LMS, is DLSL Lipa's initiative towards becoming a digital campus. When using LMS, every time we answer any assessments, we always get this result or the score right away so that we know where we got wrong and where we can improve ourselves.
It helps me communicate with other teachers and students even if we do not see each other.
It serves as an opportunity for students like me to practice home-based learning, where you are not only learning in the four corners of your classroom, but also at home. It serves as an opportunity for an organized way of uploading these files, collaboration with different students, and asking for guidance from your teachers when you need it.
It allows us to have information in just one tap. Here, we would just need to take out our cell phones, open the Canvas app, make a few taps and swipes, and voila! We have the document we would need in order to access the information and make advanced readings. Personally, I find that Salle Lipa's choice to take advantage of the dawn of technology and include Canvas in our student experience is a very good choice, especially given the fact that Salle Lipa would like to provide a sustainable campus.
Our LMS contributed to the development of students' study habits. They are also empowered for learning. Thus, we're not really spoon-feeding them. We're equipping them for the future.
Do you want to know the new normal in sports? Watch as we share with you At Home with the Green Stallions.
Hindi na iiba yung passion or yung paggawa yung intensity ng paggawa ng workout kasi para din naman sa atin to.
learn to function in the new normal. And the green cells took that shot.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our program is about to start. May I request all our viewers to get settled as we begin. Let us start our program with a prayer.
Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. Our loving Father, we offer everything to you during this webinar. We ask Thee for your divine providence that activities set for this undertaking be successful. We thank you, Father, for allowing students to continue their education online, for the virtual classrooms, technological resources, and to the teachers who are tirelessly working to prepare in the opening of classes in this new normal. Please equip them with wisdom and inspiration in this challenging time of crisis. Bless each and every one of us. Protect our health both physically and mentally. We pray that this pandemic ends soon by your grace and mercy. All these we ask through your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Saint John Baptist de La Salle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Good morning and welcome to our first Borderfree Education webinar. I am Jay Haboneta, your host this morning. For a seamless viewing experience, make sure you have a strong internet connection. You may use any device to view the webinar. We also have a question and answer, a Q&A segment after all the presentations of our speakers. You can send your questions by typing at the comment section of our YouTube channel. This webinar is important to you, our partners, our stakeholders, parents, guardians, and students, as we share what border-free education is about. It is also a venue where we can listen to your comments and suggestions and improve the way we deliver education in this challenging time. Allow me a brief backgrounder. Even before the COVID 19 pandemic, the world was already facing a learning crisis. And the learning crisis, or some might say learning poverty, was not equally distributed. The most disadvantaged countries have the lowest access to primary and secondary education, high dropout rates, and larger learning deficits. Today, over 1.6 billion children and students are affected by school closures in 190 countries across the globe. At DLSL Lipa, we have started our border-free education journey back in 2016 when we recognized that we need to innovate in the way we deliver education today. You could say that we started preparations 4 years ago. So, despite the volcanic eruption and now this pandemic, we are able to ensure the continuity of learning delivery to the students entrusted to our care. We believe the pandemic is an opportunity to reset, to reconsider, and build back better schools. Our border free education draws inspiration from the commitment of St. John Baptist de la Salle to place learners, especially the disadvantaged, at the center of the educational project, to enable them to participate in society with a Christian spirit and to promote the excellence of their whole person through the support of a community. Our border free education is a platform that forms learners to participate in the creation of a just, equitable, sustainable, and inclusive society through the experience of border free classroom, border free community, and border free campus. It is our commitment to continue to innovate our education to respond to the needs of our times. Today, we are very fortunate to have our school administrators with us to deep dive into border free classroom, community, and campus. And to begin our discussions, a key feature of our border free education is the place where learning happens. Our border free classroom empowers our learners to actively engage in the design of their learning experiences. Let us welcome Dr. Aisel Torino, De La Salipas Vice Chancellor for Academics, to present about border free classroom. Great day, Dr. Torino.
Great day, everyone. Great day, Sir J. Great day, dear LaSallian partners, both faculty, students, and guardians and parents alike. May I share with you now my screen relative to my presentation? Okay. So anyway, before the start of this, let me give you some stats first. As of yesterday, if you would notice, or from the news, you would have heard that we have worldwide 120 million cases of COVID all over the world. And in the Philippines alone, we have until, like, for example, 150,000 or more until the end of August. Again, if quarantine is effectively implemented, and that's according to the UP Octa Group. So basically, if you would notice near our doorstep, there are a lot of things that are changing and happening. And the new normal is in, and that is actually no exception for our classroom setup. So just to give you a brief overview of what we have prior to our launching of the border free education. It was actually not a spur of the moment decision when we actually decided that we're going to go full online for this school year. The learning continuity plan is actually there to enforce and ensure that all our objectives will be met. And we have actually this particular set of task forces, which includes academics, administration, support services, and the mission, to not only focus into the progression of the academic programs, but also try to reconfigure the support system for our students to help and enable them and to accompany them into the learning journey, and of course, look at the larger project of human formation. The timeline here includes 7 phases of a 3-year timeline, wherein now we are basically at only at phase 2. For the framework, the DLSL Lipa Education Transformation Process Framework is basically an interplay of revisiting policies, enabling people, use new platforms, and those which are also appropriate, to innovative teaching and learning programs, and that includes our Border-free classrooms. Banking or working towards, again, our mission of delivering equitable and just, inclusive, and sustainable education. Not only internally, but we are also conversing with our different stakeholders, like, for example, our regulatory bodies, specifically our application accreditation for our full online delivery through CHED, TESDA, and DepEd. Not to forget is our engagement with regards to our PASO accreditation. And I'm happy to say to you that recently we've been awarded a level 3 status for our hospitality and tourism management programs. Also, together with this, we've been given another extension for our level 3 accredited programs, including that of the integrated school and most of our college programs as well. So after this, we were able to launch our Border-free Education. This was June 3, and there was also a countdown as well. And of course, we have also prepared our students their readiness through their engagement to the DLSL project, the Common Students Edition. This is for our students to get onboarded, be guided, and be immersed with the social innovation fundamentals. This is basically a sneak preview of the learning journey that you'll find inside our learning management system. And of course, since it is gamified, you get to also claim your badges as well. And for this, our learning management system, which is powered by Canvas, is also oriented in this particular platform. All the activities for the academics, including non-academics activities, are also embedded into our academic calendar. So for my talking points, I've been done with the preliminaries, but the highlights of which starts with the border-free classroom until the integration of essential life work and social skills. Lastly, I shall actually be giving you a walkthrough with some of our sample modules or learning modules for some of the courses or subjects, both in the integrated school and in the college. So some definition. So the border-free classroom is where learners are guided to become actively engaged in the design of their learning experiences. Thus, the phrase empowered learning. Digital border-free learning shall be observed in a self-directed and self-paced approach, which allows students to learn at their own pace and make choices about the sequence and focus of their learning based on their needs, goals, and desired outcomes. So simply put, when we talk of self-directed, that becomes that is for the students to take the initiative, and for self-paced, meaning to say at their own rate. In this matrix, you could actually see the interplay of the roles of the teachers, students, and parents. So for preschool to grade 3, the learning experiences are more teacher-directed, where students are very much dependent to their teachers for the facilitation of their learning journey, with, of course, a very visible engagement or participation of the parents and the guardians. Down the matrix below are basically the engagement of the students as they go to the higher grade or year levels, which is they are drawn to basically practicing self-directed learning with low to no parent engagement as well. And if you would notice, the roles of the teachers are being shifted from one grade level to the other. So for the highlights of the border-free classroom, we have here the components of curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. So basically what the content is, how do we deliver it, and of course, how we assess the learning. So for preschool, it's again full online, delivered through our Border-Free Learning Management platform, following the revised minimum learning competencies, incorporating them on their own domains of development, which include cognitive skills, character and values, digital citizenship, among others. And of course, we also integrated some age-appropriate essential life vocation and social skills as well. Again, our class size here in a group is 25 to 30 students. So for the activities or the engagement or how do we deliver the instruction, again, it is highly teacher directed. And there are, of course, allotment in terms of student-parent engagement together with the student engagement with their teachers. And there is an allotment of at least 5 hours a day. For the assessment, we have here two summative assessment or an equivalent of 4 for the entire school year, or that means to say in a quarter, you have one summative assessment and 2 to 3 formative assessments in between. So again, when we talk of summative assessment, these are the graded, more on the authentic assessments. And when we talk of formative assessments, these are scored but non-graded, and that means not to be part of the computation of the grades. But feedback are also being given to our students. For grades 1 to 3, again, fully online, following the revised minimum learning competencies at the very least, with 8 academic subjects, okay, and age-appropriate essential life vocation and social skills. So again, when we say essential life skills, this actually goes from tying their shoelaces to making sandwiches to actually doing household chores and the likes. Simply put, to engage our students not only in the classroom competencies, but of course, in the different skills that they need to go through to become holistic personhood in this crisis that we face. And alongside with that is our intentional curriculum, citing their own various skills and competencies. And the class size we also keep to 25 to 30. For the pedagogy, it is very much similar with our preschool, but again, allotted number of time, of course, is also indicated here for an hour daily of synchronous online teacher-student orientation or interaction, together with consultation for both with the teacher and the parents and students as well. For the assessment, is very much similar with the preschool, with 4 summative assessments with 2 to 3 formative assessments in between. For curriculum, under the grades 4 to 6 year or grade levels, similar, but the only difference is that we have here a 35 to 40 student in a group. In terms of pedagogy, now we have a shift in the role of the teacher. He now becomes a moderator and a guide, and the students are actually now being drawn to start practicing self-directed learning. And of course, now aside from the parents being learning moderators, they now actually get to have their learning engagement with their kids or with their sons and daughters from a moderate to low parent engagement. And of course, again, similarly, we also have given them an appropriate number of online student or teacher-student interactions as well. And of course, a separate per hour per week pre-scheduled time allotment for parents and students. For the assessments, similar with the preschool up to grade 3. And for the junior high school, the class size increased from 35 to 40 now, with a maximum of 45 students in a class. For the pedagogy, now the teacher acts as a facilitator. The learners are now quite involved in the practice of their self-directed learning and moderate to low parents engagement, and of course, structured online sessions, which are being diminished as the year or grade level increases. This assessment is also similar in terms of format. And for the senior high school, now becomes the number of grade or academic subjects varies per grade, per strand. Again, with all the integration of age-appropriate essential skills and vocational and social skills as well, with a maximum of 50 students in a group. So now the teacher is a consultant with a low to no parent engagement. And of course, here, the learners are empowered to practice self-paced, self-directed learning, exploring the learning journey on their own, being a driver into their empowered learning experiences. So we have here an allotment of approximately 4 structured online sessions per month. And of course, also engaging our students on a per subject level consultation with their subject teachers. Now, we do the calendar cycle on a 3 summative assessments per semester, of course, with in between 2 to 3 formative assessments prior to taking their summative assessment. So for the college, similar, very much similar with the senior high school. It's just that, again, the class size increased to a maximum of 55 students in a group, with the activities engagement in terms of the learner practicing self-directed learning, very much similar with the senior high school, with of course low to no parent engagement as well. So again, if you would notice here, there are always time allotment for the students to be engaged to comply with the various requirements of the subject or of the program itself. For the assessment, similar with the senior high school, 3 summative assessments per semester with 2 to 3 in between formative assessments. Okay, so this is a sample of the calendar cycle that we have for academics, and this is for the senior high school and the college, which is composed of a 20-week cycle, calendar cycle for a semester. So though there are actually prompts to be given to the students for them to take, whether they're summative assessments or formative assessments, it's actually self-paced or self-directed. So therefore, there would be no student who's going to be left behind because prompts are given and they're actually given due dates or prescribed lock dates for them to be able to comply missing requirements as well. Now, for the integrated school, the calendar cycle is divided into quarters, which is composed of 10 weeks. So in this 10-week calendar cycle, you see that there is actually one summative assessment with prior formative assessments before taking the summative assessment. So let me walk you through with the access to the Canvas module, assessment, and of course, the grade process flow. Okay, so here at the onset, the students are given access to their modules wherein they could actually perform practices and drills and take the first attempt on the formative assessment. There is a criteria set. So if you get to actually get the minimum requirement of 70% of your score correct, then you get to get the recorded or the score recorded. If not, then you see that there is again an intervention of the teacher into the learning mastery plan, and you try to relearn and take another attempt to taking the same formative assessment. If you're actually done with the formative assessment and the score actually passes the minimum requirement, then you get to answer the learning self-survey together with the faculty performance evaluation. If done with all of this, then you may now take and proceed take the summative assessment. Now here we have another minimum requirement, which is supposedly a score of at least 60%. So if yes, if you do have that, then you're ready to take the next module, which is unlock, which the student can actually opt to proceed. If not, and that can be considered as attempt 1, and therefore a feedback will actually be given by the teacher to take and let the student take the second attempt for the summative assessment. If not again, therefore, the score is recorded and displayed. And if yes, the average of the scores is recorded and displayed. Now the student may now take the second formative assessment attempt until they actually get to comply with the necessary score requirement. And is still not yet complying, therefore, there is still another set of teacher intervention to be done before the students take the last attempt. Okay. Now for the last attempt, it is still the scores of score 1, 2, and 3. And that is dot score which is to be recorded and displayed. So on this particular process flow, if you would notice, you get to have multiple attempts for formative assessment, but for summative assessment, you're given only 3 attempts. Okay. Okay. Now, if after the 3 attempts for the summative assessment and the students still fail to get the minimum standards, therefore, it is now the time of the teacher to set a common time with the students and manually override module requirements for the students. Okay. If yes, therefore, they can actually proceed with the next set of modules. Now, um, for the manually overriding of the modules, that would actually be set so that the students can actually go back with the previous modules and take the previous steps before as taken before. Now, if they're done with that, the question now is, are there capstone assignments? If yes, for that particular quarter, then the students will be asked to perform and submit the capstone assignment and actually again comply with the minimum requirement of a score. If no, students will be given feedback, and that means to say they'll be asked to resubmit. But if yes, therefore, now is actually the time to get their achievement score, and that will be the basis of the computation for the homeroom grade. This is where I'm actually discuss relative to the prescribed lock date, which is what we call the quarter end date. This is true for the integrated school. So if the quarter end date is actually at hand, so therefore all the final quarter grade is actually recorded. But if not, you can actually go through back again with the learning modules and redo the steps. So if the scores are all considered final, therefore, you now answer, the students will now be able to answer the course evaluation, and the grades will be displayed in their Canvas gradebook, and the middleware will fetch all the quarter scores and final total score and transmit the grade, whereby our registrar will be able to issue the per quarter and final grade for our students as their official grades. Okay, lastly, we also have what we call the integration of social innovation fundamentals and essential life work and social skills. And for this, as an added value added proposition for our curriculum, we give our learners badges and certificates as well. Now, to give you a sneak preview of what we offer under Classroom Borderfree Classroom, let me actually give you a walkthrough of some of our teachers' sneak preview of their Canvas courses. So I'll ask the technical team to take the presentation from here. Again, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. I'll be happy to answer any of your clarifications and queries at the end of all the presentations. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to school, joining us in this border-free classroom. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting to you the sample Canvas course of the Preschool Department. So we are now in the homepage of the department, wherein you will be seeing our community banner, the section Nursery 2 School Year 2020-2021, the welcome message, and there's another welcome message here, which is clickable.
Hello, young Australians. Welcome to Nursery 2 Learning Adventures. I am Teacher Marcel.
Other than that, there is another information about the teacher, like the teacher's name, the email address, the availability, and the consultation time. Below also, you will be seeing the class schedule or the proposed daily schedule, wherein they are supposed to be waking up at 9 a.m., learning time with teacher at 9 to 10, and then asynchronous learning, creative time, and so on. Below also, you will be seeing the clickable pictures for the different modules that they will be doing for the full quarter. So aside from the modules, we're not calling it in preschool as module, we call it by steps. We think of a creative way on how we're going to do it. So first step, second step, third step. Third step is the third module. Okay, let's try to explore the third step. So in the third step, you will be seeing the theme for the week. My family takes care of me. Then there is a welcome again, then what they're going to accomplish for a week. By this one will be discussed by the teacher in the first day of the week. The greetings and circle time, there is a prayer here which is clickable, wherein they will be singing it together with the teacher. The teacher will teach the actions together with the song for the week. Hello, how do you do? And then now the teacher will introduce the self-help skill for this week, which is washing hand. They will be doing first a simple experiment, and these materials are all pre-assigned. Then after doing the experiment, the pupils will be able to figure out the importance of washing hand. After the activity, they will be claiming the reward, the well done badge. And then also, okay, the teacher now will introduce the lesson in a form of a storytelling. These are all clickable PowerPoint presentation with voiceover of the teacher. And then after doing that, after the discussion, they will go to the quizzes section and answer the formative assessment. After answering, another reward will be given to them, the well done badge. And then for the next days, there will be a series of assessments again. So they are all pre-recorded. Okay, like that. Okay, there is a short instruction there of the teacher and an example also, a simple video. After doing that, another badge will be claimed by the pupils. Below also is already the summative assessment or the authentic assessment for the quarter of the preschool pupils or the nursery 2 pupils, wherein they will be asked to perform a show and tell activity. So the instructions are here, okay, together with the rubrics. Okay. Then there's a sample show and tell activity again, a video done by our pupil. It's also clickable. And after completing the module, there is another badge to be claimed by the pupils. Okay, so that's basically what they're going to see for the whole week lesson. These are the references for the images and the YouTube link. Then let's now try to explore the syllabus. In the syllabus, you will be seeing also the introduction, the video and etiquette. That's it. In the introduction, there is a course description pertaining to the different domains of the preschool, the content standard, the performance standard, and the objectives. Okay, that's the syllabus. Now let's go to modules. In modules, you will be seeing all the lessons for the whole quarter. So for the first week, the welcome orientation, module 1, module 2, module 3 or the step 3, everything is there. They are all clickable. Okay, even the assessments and the examples are there. Okay, so that is basically the Canvas course of the preschool department. So thank you very much and have a nice day.
Hello, Sir Jay. If we still have time, we could actually have a small sneak preview also for the colleges. Just short.
Yes,
If that is
okay.
okay.
Yes.
The technical team, please.
We have a very engaged audience, Doc Isel. You will be glad to know that we will be uploading
Yes, I
all the
see.
presentations to the MyD Campus Parents Portal after this webinar, so you can get back to the discussions shared. Is the technical team ready?
Okay. So if not, we could actually simply share the link for our audience here.
There, I think
Okay,
it's,
here it is.
yeah.
Okay.
For my Computer Programming 1 course. I am Mark De Vera from the College of Information Technology and Engineering, Faculty of the Computer Science program. Allow me to walk you through my Canvas form. Usually, the homepage is composed of links that would serve as students' orientation session for the course. Also has a brief information of who the faculty is. Among the links that can be viewed here are the welcome page, course information, SIFs, SDGs, faculty, and student roles. Resources and materials contain the list of ebooks, journal readings, and the virtual lab resources. The course is made up of 6 modules, and these are created in pages to ensure that students will go through the topics before they are asked to do assessments.
Okay.
Modules are made up of various media such as texts, graphics, videos, and pages from external links for a more engaging learning journey. Readings are chunked and tubbed to not bore the students from long readings. Examples are also made available to further supplement students' appreciation of the topics. To engage students, I created some activities in between pages to make the online learning more interactive. Among is the Cite Your Ideas. It's a free discussion where students can express their ideas in various media. It may be a text, graphics, a self-made video, or a combination of these. This is my way to know their level of understanding of the content I presented. After a few more pages, students will engage themselves in a do-it-yourself activity. This is a practice-based activity allowing students to apply what they have learned using a virtual laboratory. After this, formative assessment can be accessed. Assessment is given for both the lecture and laboratory components of the course and can be taken multiple times to prepare students for the summative authentic assessment. Students are graded based on the set learning outcomes, and these are made evident in the rubrics. The course is integrated with external apps to deliver students laboratory requirements. Specifically, these are the flowchart creator, the graphically designed algorithms, and online simulator to compile the codes that students have written. After successful completion of Module 1, students get a badge for completing the module. This means that students are ready for the next module. This is our border-free education. This is the new normal for Salle Lipa.
Thank you, Dr. Isel Torino, and of course the team behind the technical presentations. Any last words?
None. I just wait for the clarification at the end of the presentation. But again, we are very much happy that our students, our faculty, and parents have actually started to engage with in preparation for the coming school year. And that is, of course, in the commencement of our start of classes, which is August 24. So again, we'll
Okay.
see you then at the welcome program as well on the first day of school.
Thank you, Doc Isel Torino. one of my key learnings from your presentation is that the student is indeed at the center of their learning experience. We have a very engaged audience today. Thank you very much for tuning in to our webinar. Someone asked, what is the meaning of border free? And for me, this is why we're having this webinar. It's really the border free education means, there are no more borders. So let's now proceed. Our border free classroom is supported by our community and support services initiatives. Our border free community engages our learners and partners in promoting the excellence of the whole person, and that together and by association gives witness to faith, service, and communion. Even if the learning happens outside of our physical campus, it doesn't mean we will forgo values formation. To elaborate further on our border-free community, let us welcome Mr. Henson Ola, De La Salle Lipa's Director for the Lasallian Assistance Management Program, Alumni and Advancement Offices. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Ola.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Our Lasallian partners, our dear parents, our students. Welcome to the Borderfree community. Allow me to tour you around to this community in an online world. One of the features of the Borderfree education is this Borderfree community, engaged student life. For all we know, at the beginning of the 21st century, many colleges and universities have a broad educational mission to develop the whole student. In De La Salle Lipa, extracurricular involvement is a key tool in this personal development, since this plays an integral role in the students' campus experiences. These academic diverse activities will help the students develop their physical, emotional, and mental wellness through the various guidance programs and services, and several sports workouts. As a Catholic educational institution, students will be spiritually nourished and will equip them to be socially responsible. Lastly, all integrated school and college students will surely won't miss all the different clubs and organizations activities, not even this pandemic. So what is Border-Free Community? De La Salle Lipa's Border-Free Community is an online community that follows a program built on a framework for total human development and witness to the Lasallian values of faith, service, and communion. For the spiritual formation is the 365 daily prayer and liturgical celebrations. We Lasallians are used to pray every morning before our classes start, combined with our morning and noontime celebrations of the Holy Eucharist. Through the institutional Lasallian Formation Office, an online daily gospel reading and prayer will be posted on the students' Canvas accounts, while live streaming of our 8:30 a.m. daily Eucharistic celebration and 5:30 p.m. anticipated Mass will be made available via De La Salle Lipa Facebook page. For the retreat and recollections, for the annual activities, our students will still be encouraged to attend these spiritual activities, the new normal edition. For the terminal years, like our grade 12 and fourth year college students, they would still join and experience God's presence in the annual retreat. These programs will run via a 10-hour modules to be coursed through the CLCE classes for grade 12 and religious education classes for our fourth year college students. For the CLC integration activities of our undergraduate students, grade 11 and first year to third year college students, they will enjoin to attend the online recollections whose modules and topics varies depending on the focus for each level. A 5-hour recollection module will be coursed through the CLCE classes for grade 11 and religious education classes for the college students. On the other hand, a 2-hour spiritual formation will be provided for our grade 1 to grade 10 students, which would aim to strengthen the values integrated from the lessons of CLCE for a more effective learning. Surely, De La Salle students will be spiritually nurtured while having their online studies. Moving on, to provide learners opportunities to showcase their interests and commitments, the Sports and Development and Student Activities Offices will provide a setting to make them involved and to interact with other students, thus leading to increased learning and enhanced development. By working together with other individuals, students learn to negotiate, communicate, manage conflict, and lead others. For our sports program, At Home with the Green Stallions is a program of the Sports and Development Office, which will be offered particularly to our varsity athletes. Being a varsity athlete requires a greater commitment of time and energy for practicing, conditioning, and competing. Thus, each athlete is required to make themselves physically fit at all times. With the supervision and continuous guidance of their coaches and sports supervisors, all varsity athletes were provided with recorded videos of trainings, physical exercises, and workouts to be performed at home to keep them fit. In this manner, when the new normal in sports resumes, Green Stallions athletes will still be on the forefront of elite sporting events and competitions to bring the banner of green and white. For our student activities, through the club and organizations activities, students will have the opportunity to improve their leadership and interpersonal skills while also increasing their self-confidence. This involvement allows students to link academic knowledge with practical experience, thereby leading to a better understanding of their own abilities, talents, and, of course, career goals. Moreover, De La Salipa's extracurricular activities, through the management of the school's student activities offices, will focus on institutional goals, such as building and sustaining community on campus as well, and student retention. As campuses become more diverse, students desire an environment in which they feel connected to others. This provides an avenue for students to come together, discuss pertinent ideas and issues, and accomplish common goals. These 40 integrated school clubs and 34 college organizations grouped into professional, social-civic and religious, and special interest groups will continuously provide leadership trainings and various live streaming of different activities through the De La Salipa Facebook page and other online platforms. The thrill and excitement of being a Lasallian really never stops with these online activities. For our guidance and counseling services, guidance and counseling are very important for students, and schools have a huge role in bringing out the best in these learners entrusted to our care. Good contact is coveted, but sometimes young minds need guidance to polish their personality. Through counseling, learners are given advice on how to manage and deal with emotional conflict and personal problems. Proper counseling will help incorporate valuable lessons in their daily lives. At De La Salipa, various learners' concerns are well attended by our well-trained counselors. Special services are being provided to promote mental wellness among its stakeholders, including parents and alumni. Also, to prevent, identify, and address problems before they escalate or become chronic. Guidance and counseling are important for the usual related guidance, seminars, and orientations. Online modules will be distributed in Canvas and De La Salipa website. Webinar trainings for students and parents will also be conducted, and regular posting of awareness campaigns will still be done in several social media platforms. So while the homeroom guidance will be aligned through the CLCA classes, Google Sheets are received from teachers to follow up for the academic status of our learners. On the other hand, the integrated school and college guidance centers will provide increasingly intensive data-driven services to assist the learners in their career development. Lastly, online testing services will also be made available to continuously assess a variety of learners' mental abilities, including achievement and ability, personality, and neurological functioning. These standard tests will be administered and supervised by licensed psychometricians in the integrated school and the colleges. For our community involvement, all the Salian communities worldwide, including De La Salipa, assures that every learner's sense of volunteerism and civic mindedness are being honed and engrossed to help them in developing commitment to justice and the common good. For the online activities of our Community Involvement Office in this Borderfree community, the Community Involvement Office has decided that instead of having the conventional outreach and exposure activities, the students will go through various modules still aligned with the curriculum that would prepare learners in the future outreach activities. Likewise, aside from the curriculum integrated formation, another program of the office for learners is the thematic Catholic social teachings. So this program is given to students through monthly themed modules per cluster or per grade. A quarterly module about a corresponding topic or a theme for a particular grade will be uploaded to the learner's canvas. Moving on the digital citizenship, so it's a whole reality. It's a whole new reality of learning for students with so much of their communication and education now happening online. Our responsibility now as educators now extends beyond the classroom to a role within keyboards and HTML codes and teaching students to navigate these digital spaces responsibly. That is a major part of helping them to develop a healthy relationship with the world around them. So what is digital citizenship? So digital citizenship, this refers to responsible technology usage, and teaching digital citizenship is essential to helping students achieve and understand digital literacy, as well as ensuring cyberbullying prevention, online safety, digital responsibility, and digital health and wellness. The school, specifically the Services Department, will conduct an online orientation to all learners of the new school provisions on student discipline given the new normal situation, of course, with emphasis on digital citizenship. With this, the learners will be made aware of the proper attitude and behavior in the digital world. The new discipline policy is crafted and disseminated to all students through parents and students canvas to provide them better understanding and get them familiar with these new policies. For the arts and culture, arts education helps foster a positive culture and climate in all schools. When schools integrate the arts across the curriculum, disciplinary referrals decrease while effectiveness of instruction and teachers' ability to meet the needs of all students increase. Learning a musical instrument, creating a painting, learning to dance, or singing in a chorus teaches that taking small steps, Practicing to improve, being persistent, and being patient are important for learners' growth and improvement. That's why the Arts and Culture Office will be integrating a 2D, 3D visual photo arts and two-dimensional digital sculpture for our grade school, while digital arts installation and recycling arts will be offered for our high school and college students. Plus, we'll be having the music rather, and choral performances. For our alumni programs, an institution's alumni are, should I say, the reflection of its past, representation of its present, and a link to its future. That's how important the alumni presence in every institution. And that's why here at De La Salipa, we will provide continuous assistance to them in collaboration with our De La Salipa Alumni Association Incorporated. In partnership with the Institute for Professional and Advanced Continuing Education of the institution, we will sponsor activities which will include online career development programs and an alumni league to keep camaraderie burning among our De La Salipa alumni. So that's all for the Border Free community. Allow me to welcome you to our Border Free community for a continuously engaged student life and a dynamic, collaborative engagement with all our stakeholders. Thank you very much. And again, good morning to everyone.
Thank you, Sir Henson. Our border-free community and its tenets are aimed at an engaged student life that deploys innovative approaches to engagements, maximizing the digital space to ensure values formation is a constant. More so in the face of the situation we have today. So again, thank you very much, Sir Henson.
Okay.
Now let's proceed to the next, but definitely not the least, program under Border Free Education. Our Border Free Campus services, among others, are the infrastructure that powers our Border Free Education. Our Border Free Campus secures a campus that is safe and responsive to the needs of learners, instructors, and the larger community, and of course, supportive of their success, your success. To give us an overview of the available tools and services under Border Free Campus, let us welcome Mr. Jose Orlando Losada, De La Salipa's Chief Technology and Shared Services Officer. Good morning, Sir Owie, and welcome.
Good morning, Sir Jay. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our webinar.
Morning.
So I'm here to talk about the Border Free Campus, or basically the aim here in the Border Free Campus is to enable the services. What the students, parents has able to experience here in campus. Well, we aim to bring it up to the digital world. Next slide, please. So, as mentioned a while ago by Sir Jay and Doc Aisel, in fact, we've been doing this digital transformation actually since 2016. That's when we started with our learning management system. So, in that aspect, I can say that we're pretty well prepared for it since we already had 3 years experience using it. And the real challenge now is actually putting into the digital world all the other services that was or is and was enjoyed here on campus. Next slide, please. So what we're trying to do now is we're putting a system of feedback mechanism. The difference right now is since we the Salian partners are work from home and the students are also from home. We are trying to put now a system of feedback from the learners and for parents, for anybody actually. We're trying to put up a system of feedback mechanism, which I will describe later, for us to allow to give you a good level of service level. And this should allow us to continue and improve our process. We have to understand, although this is already in the plan since 3-4 years ago, but this pandemic has suddenly thrust us in that stage wherein we need to hurry up everything. So right now, especially in our service desk, in our help desk, we ask the help of the qualified learning facilitators to help us in answering your queries, not just in terms of technical, but in other aspects. For example, the enrollment, the payment, and everything. Next, please. So in terms of safety and security protocols, actually, if ever a student or parent needs to come to school, we have our health and safety station, which is conforms to the IATF rules. So basically, we have here we need you to guys to fill out a medical form. We do a thermal scanning, foot bath, hand sanitizing, and misting. So assuming there's a need to go to school. And in the next slide, we are actually preparing for the time we're in. I think I was taking notes a while ago of the questions. Next slide, please. We're in, I think it was Miss Mariel Lagman was asking, will there ever be face-to-face classes? Ma'am, that we do not know, but I'm pretty sure there will be in the future. But in preparation to that, we're already doing a survey of all our facilities. In fact, if you see in the right picture here, we're trying to simulate a social distancing, and that's near the college lobby. And we are now putting signs here in the school wherein that wherein you keep your distance, where please do not sit here because we have to put it in the benches. So we are preparing for it, ma'am. We just don't know when, but if it comes, I'm pretty sure we will be more prepared. Next slide, please. In fact, in the safety and security protocols, we have already done our space utilization plan. So we have measured all our classrooms. In fact, due to the fact that classroom sizes here in LaSalle are kind of different, the sizes. So for each of these buildings, for the junior high, senior high, grade school, using that 3-foot radius protocol, we've actually seen that we can get a maximum of 9, 12, and 15 students depending on the room. So we are preparing it for it, ma'am. Next slide, please. For the digital services for students, again, in the campus portal, you can see here that we have added other digital services, but most prominent among them, obviously, is the Canvas LMS and the Office 365. These are the two major tools that we use in giving you the border-free classroom. Other services here is basically the online admission, enrollment, and payment. What else? The ICT support. We've included ICT support. By the way, let me remind, especially the students, please update your passwords at once. You can update that using that ICT support. Because updating your password is really very important, because you have to understand that at this point, you're studying from home. So when you're studying from home, basically, the school network, which is the on-campus network, cannot really secure you that much, because that's your own ISP, that's your own internet connection and everything. Unlike here in school, wherein the network, or the school network, the campus network, actually can control most of the activities. Our security systems are here. But when you are in your home, so you're using your provider, Globe, PLDT, Converge, basically you are not under the school network. So what happens, for example, if you log into Canvas, once you put in your username password, it just passes through us for authentication, and then you go straight to Canvas. So it's like when you're using Facebook, you're going straight to Facebook. So it's very important that to change your passwords immediately. Uh, what else can we do here? So the Office 365, so grades and everything. So these digital services, actually, we will be um, assessing the efficiency, the efficacy, and we'll also be putting in additional digital services. So as mentioned when I started, this is now the real challenge. What we're able to give you here in the campus face to face is now everything online. So that's the real challenge, and hopefully, please bear with us. There'll be some problems. Please bear with us, and we also need your feedback on these matters. So next slide, please. In fact, a while ago, again, I also took a note for digital service for parents. There was like Miss Melissa Castillo was saying that there's a login error of the parents portal. Thank you for that, ma'am. So I will ask the technical guys here to get your, or if you can put in your comments. So I need more info from you. Moderator, can you please get me in touch with Miss Melissa Castillo? So, because everything from the parents' perspective, we will be putting here in the digital services for parents. So, if assuming there'll be problems, so obviously that's a bad service for us. These feedbacks are very important and very helpful to us. Again, and later we have our mga contact info. So but basically here that my services for parents, this is where all the Canvas interactions will happen with parents. This is where you can see how your kids perform, what's their grade, and even the statement of account. Next, please. And this is our new communication channels. Actually, we put up a new number. That's the 302-2900. That's a new number. It's a digital number. In fact, that number can actually accommodate up to 30 concurrent calls. So we have that put in place to give you more communication channels, and we have this 1, 2, 3, 4 new cell phone numbers, and we in fact be adding more cell phone numbers because there was a request to put in globe numbers. So we'll be putting additional communication channels, numbers for you guys to give us feedback. Again, the feedback is very important for us. As much as possible, obviously, we try to imagine your needs and wants, but we cannot imagine all of it. So your feedback, giving us feedback, will really help us improve our level of service to you guys. And with that, Sir Jay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Losada, or who you call Sir Owie. My key learning in your presentation is that our border-free campus enables support services to you, our stakeholders, even as we do not host you on campus. Guidance services, service help desk, payments are now online or accessible via our telephone numbers. They will be flashed later on the screen, and we are just a click, a call, or an email away. Thank you, Sir Owie. DLSL Lipa's Border-Free Education is our response to the learning continuity and access for our children who rightly deserve it. Border-free education allows you to learn anytime, anywhere. We have speakers here who have presented well, but just in case you have questions to ask, we are now opening the floor for questions. We will begin with a panel of parent representatives and student representatives who have been gracious and generous in joining us this morning in our virtual studio. Good morning to one and all. Welcome again to today's webinar. First off, let me call on our very energetic Pencil President, Mr. Dennis Santos, for his question. Sir Dennis,
Hi, Sir Jay. Good morning.
good morning.
Okay. So my first
Great
question
day.
yeah. My first question is, what is the difference between DLSL Border Free Education compared to other schools' online learning program?
Okay. Thank you, Sir Dennis. And may we have Dr. Isel Torino to answer the question? I think you're on mute, Doc Ice. There.
Yeah, okay. So good morning, Sir Dennis. Good
Thank
morning,
you.
everyone again. Okay, so again, if you would notice from the last quarter of our school year last year, we were able to actually implement the home-based online learning. And from there, we were able to learn a lot in terms of the infrastructure and whatever engagement that we have to be considered in factoring out what we are offering right now for this coming school year. So with those factors at hand, we were able to carefully analyze and study that this is not simply an interplay of all the engagements done virtually, all in, as in most of the days are actually completed where all students are supposedly engaged on a face-to-face online session throughout the entire day. So if you would notice in our online engagement as well, we make sure that there are also a combination of synchronous and asynchronous learning experiences so that not all the time that the students will be able to be required to have a real-time consultation with their teachers. And of course, again, the integration of parent consultation is very much significant because the role of the parents, specifically in the lower grade levels, is very, very much important so that we get to have our learner engagement in terms of the experiences that we need to actually have them partake in the classroom or the border-free classroom as well.
Thank you, Doc Isel and Sir Dennis. And now let us move on to
Sir Jay,
one of
I
our
have a,
parents.
Sir Jay, can I ask
Yes,
another
sir.
one?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, sir. Yes, yes, please.
With the self-directed and self-paced learning, how will the student feel the sense of belongingness to a class or to the school, especially the new students?
Okay.
I think,
Remember,
yeah.
yes. Again, I know that's my question. Okay. So in my presentation, I actually made mention of the Project D Commons, and I've actually seen in the chat group that there is actually also a question relative to that. Okay, so the Project D Commons Student Edition is again a very important platform for the students to be engaged so that they would know how they're going to actually communicate, be seen and connected with the other members of the community, not only their classmates, not only their teachers, but the other programs of the school as well. So this somehow should be helpful for them if they're going to engage on that before the start of the classes so that navigation will actually done more easier when they dive in into the actual learning experience. So for this, there are actually a lot of help desks. The consultation time of this of the parents, of course, of the teachers rather, are actually also in screen per subject, per domain. So we actually remain to be connected with the students by listing their on what applicable or appropriate social media platform we can actually use should there be concerns on Wi-Fi connection as well. And of course, there are
Thank you.
activities in store that would somehow collaborate one student with the other. Human-centered
Thank you.
design
Thank you,
activities.
Doc
Yes.
Isel. And yeah, Sir Dennis, just to add, I think that's why we were also presenting about border-free campus and border-free community because we want to bring, of course, nothing can replace, the face-to-face, but we want to bring the programs, activities, and services that used to be much available inside the campus to the virtual or digital world. Thank you, Sir Dennis,
Thank
and
you.
thank you,
Thank you.
Doc Isel. Let us now proceed to another parent, Miss Elizabeth, Miss Beth Lee. Can we have your question?
Hello po, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
My question
Go ahead.
is, what are the alternatives that DLSL can offer in case that there is a mass problem in internet connection wherein the main cause is the internet service provider?
Okay, thank you, Miss Beth. Can we have Sir Owie, our Chief Technology Officer, answer the question? Sir Owie?
Hi, Miss Beth. Actually,
Hello
right
po.
now, the only help or that we can give or support that we can give to parents or students at home is we are now doing a survey of all the internet service providers in Lipa City. In fact, we've finished doing with Smart Data, the LTE. So we have actually identified like 16 barangays in the whole of Lipa, which has weak smart signals. Right now, my guys are going around Lipa City. Basically, they are testing the Globe LTE. And we have emailed both PLDT and Globe for all their service areas. We will provide that, Ms. Beth, Sir Jay. We will send out a memo or an advisory and listing all these barangays and Globe, Smart, PLDT. We will put everything there so parents will at least have an information on which ISP they can get, which is the better ISP that they can get in their respective areas. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sir Owie. Thank you, Ma'am Beth. And of course, this is part of the reason why we're having this webinar. If there are parents out there who are, great at IT or telephony, maybe you can bring your comments and inputs to us. Now, let's proceed to another parent. Let me now call on Miss Carmen Ramirez for her question. Ma'am Carmen, good morning. I think you're on mute, Ma'am.
Okay. Okay, am I good
Yes.
now?
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so my question is all about with the recent events now. So the government is eyeing to purchase and approve COVID-19 vaccine, right? So distribution by October, December 2020. So thus businesses will possibly be allowed to go back to normal, including schools. Do we continue HBOL or the home-based online learning? What will happen to border-free education?
Thank
Anyone can
you, Ma'am
answer.
Carmen. Ms.
Thank you.
Meffen. Yeah, I think it's more appropriate for Doc Isel. Doc Ice.
Yes,
Doc,
hello, it's me
personally,
again. Hello, Ma'am Ramirez. Good morning. Yes,
Hello, good
basically
morning.
the HBOL or the home-based online learning is quite different from the for the border-free classroom setup that we offer to our students right now. The HBOL is basically an emergency response to the pandemic and of course the Taal eruption that we have since of last semester, and therefore it provides a different scenario in terms of policies and guidelines because we would only like to maintain and bridge the gap of which we would like to address the remaining minimum learning competencies set for our students. But with the learnings on the HBOL, we were able to actually pivot and see what those gaps are. And from there, it actually becomes now our springboard for formulating policies and guidelines. It's actually an entire set of policies and guidelines drafted to actually address the online modality as well. So if you would notice, based on the presentation earlier, we're actually doing point system in terms of the assessment. And before we have quarter exams, but now it's self-paced, self-directed for the higher year levels, wherein you have both formative and summative assessments as well with prescribed lactates. So it also ensures that our students are also engaged with their subject teachers on prescribed consultation time and so on, so that if ever they'll be lost along the line during their online or real-time engagement, they have their other schedule that I could actually connect with their teachers. Of course, the learning modules are there, access to be accessed anytime, anywhere at their own preference or disposal.
thank you, Doc
Okay.
Isel.
So,
Thank
okay,
you.
all
Thank
right.
you, Miss Carmen. Yes, do you have a follow-up
Can I
question,
have
ma'am?
another question, please? Yes, please.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Go
So
ahead, ma'am.
yes. Are we going to continue the online learning platform if the government will allow the face-to-face classroom setup?
Okay. So as of the
I think
moment,
that's
if
my
you would
question.
notice,
Mm.
Okay. So we have actually engaged, we were into a conversation relative to our application for full online modality starting this school year. Um, we were actually given three options to do our learning delivery for the coming school year, whether that is flexible learning in full online mode or blended learning or face to face. But since we were already equipped with the necessities of the infrastructure, the policies, and of course with our training of our faculty. Therefore, it is only a natural option that we do the online, considering that we also have here the safety priority of our students. And basically, that is also one of the input that we had from our stakeholders when we did the dive in for our online modality. So it actually is imminent in the responses from our stakeholder that it is indeed a priority that that the safety of our students be also put into consideration. That's why we have there. So the decision to actually have it full online is also an intercourse of the several discussions, conversations with the stakeholders. And yes, the
Thank you, Doc
online and
Okay.
full
Aisel.
online is also an option given to us by both DepEd and CHED.
Thank you, Doc
Okay.
Aisel. Thank you, Ma'am Carmen.
Thank
Let us
you.
now proceed to our student representatives. And can I now call on Mr. Carl Adrian Tolentino, who is the student government president, for his question? Carl,
Good
go
morning,
ahead.
Sir Jay.
Good morning.
So for my question po, with this border pre setup, as we all know, we do have a lot of skill-based courses in Salle Lipa. So how are we going to conduct a laboratory classes with this kind of setup?
Thank you, Carl. That's a really tough question, but I think Doc Aisel is ready to give an answer. Doc Ais?
Yes, actually, for all laboratory classes, it was actually conversed with our program chairs if they're going to actually do that purely online or virtual experiments or simulated exercises as well. So, with the conversation that we have, it was clearly seen on the modules that were actually set up that that can be done virtually and that students do not need to actually come to school. Although, for some heavily what you call this equipment based activities, we somehow have it. We have not offered it this coming semester because the CHED has also given us the go signal to actually defer some of the lab components of our highly technical courses. So those are actually the considerations that we do. If there are actually softwares or virtual simulated exercises that can be done online for our students, we somehow include it because we do not know how long will this pandemic be. So if we're going to further delay the requirements for our students, that somehow would have a greater engagement of them for them at a later semester, similar with the clinical experience requirement for our College of Nursing students. So that's it. So it's basically again trying to balance how we could actually try to offer, considering the safety of our students, and at the same time complying with the minimum requirements set or prescribed by either DepEd or CHED.
Thank you, Doc Ice and Carl. Last but not the least, let's hear from another student representative who's the Student Coordinating Board President, Ms. Pamela Bendana. Pam, go ahead with your question.
Good morning, Sir Jay.
Good
So
morning.
for my question po, considering that the home-based online learning classes that were given on the last quarter of the academic year 2019 to 2020 were not that effective, how can the border-free education sustain the quality education that every student needs? Thank you po.
Thank you, Pam. Doc Ice?
Okay, I'll on again to that question. Okay, so for this, in preparation for the coming school year, we have actually what we call the quality insurance for the Border-Free Learning Management Platform, which is supposedly our filtering assessment on how good our modules are in terms of the contents, in terms of the assessment of pedagogy, how it will be delivered. So we have this now, and that is quite different from the HBOL. So when we did the HBOL, it's basically a jump or a readily dive into the remaining competencies for the next school year. But now it's basically intentional, and that is directional in terms of how it would actually be brought into the classroom, how it would be delivered to the students, how the students will be engaged. So we were actually mandating our faculty to somehow publish all of their learning modules so that we see that at the start of the classes for the students to be able to see how or how would the learning experience be for the entire semester, and they could actually try to plan, manage their time so that they'll somehow be engaged towards the delivery of the learning experience as well, using the different support systems that the school has to offer.
Thank you
Thank
po,
you.
Miss.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Pam, and thank you, Doc Ice. And of course, again, I'd like to thank all our viewers for joining us today. I think there are almost 1,400 viewers, probably mostly parents, who are tuning in today's webinar. Um, we're gonna pick. I think we have some time for 5 more questions from our YouTube channel. Let me see. We're gonna call on. I'm gonna read on a question for our speakers. For Sir Henson, Sir Henson, here is a question from our YouTube channel. How about religious programs like First Communion and Confirmation?
Okay, we all know that last school year, 2019-2020, this religious activities like First Communion and the confirmation were not pursued because of these untoward incidents that happened in our country, like the Tal eruption last January and the current pandemic that we are experiencing right now. So I think the CLC department of the integrated school is in coordination with our institutional LaSalle Information Office, and they will be discussing the possibility of holding these religious activities for the coming school year. And I think this department, the CLCE, will be coming up with the communication with the parents and the students as well, to keep them updated and for any development for these religious activities.
Thank you, Sir Henson. May I now call on Sir Owie? I have 2 more questions for you from our YouTube channel. And I'm just gonna state both questions because they're almost similar. In line with secured connectivity to the school system, are you planning to implement a VPN system? Considering that Windows 10 Pro is the required software, and since it has no Microsoft Office license yet, will the incoming high school students be provided with free access to Microsoft Office? And then the follow-up question is, Sir, who will install the Office 365? I think those are
Okay.
pretty basic questions, but yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Sir
For
Owie.
the Office 365, they'll all officially enrolled students will have their Office 365 accounts. So it's there, it's included together with not only with the Microsoft Office but with the Canvas account, which is used for the LMS. So the school actually has an SSO or the single sign-on system. So that one account will give you access to both Canvas and Microsoft Office. And you can download it through the My D Campus portal, the Microsoft Office. There are FAQs there, step-by-step guide. Or if you're pretty good at it, you can go straight to Microsoft and download it. But you will have to use your official email account. As for the VPN, actually we're doing a study on it. But the problem with the VPN is actually, as I mentioned a while ago, these are cloud services actually. So the VPN is going inside to our system, but we're studying the implementation with respect to internal De La Salle systems.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Owie. Just to add there, last year when I joined De La Salle Lipa, I was really impressed that, all of us have free access to Microsoft Office 365. And I think each user is allowed up to 3 or 5 devices. So you can install it. I
Yes.
have it installed on my laptop, on my tablet, and also on my phone, so that
Yes, actually,
wherever I can be, I have access to these tools. Thank you,
yes, it's
Sir
for
Owi, for
multi-device. Yes. Thank you, Jay, for clarifying
thank you
that.
for thank you for making it possible as our chief technology officer. And now let us go back to Doc Isel. These are the two last questions from our Q&A. Doc Is, I'll read the first question. How is the school aiming to protect intellectual property? Is there any campaign for strict implementation or strict information and cybersecurity rules or cybersecurity awareness?
Okay. So for the IP policy, we already had it in place. We have already started with orientation. Actually, it's part of the orientation for our faculty, and the same goes for also our students. So it actually the protection also lies not only in the learning modules, but the outputs presented by both faculty and students relative to the requirements set forth under the border free classroom. So that will actually be part of the orientation for the students as well. Yes, there is already a guideline on that.
Thank you, Doc Ice. I believe also there's an upcoming FAQ guide on our intellectual property policy
Yes,
that will
we do
come.
have.
Yes, that will come from our Office of Research Publications and IP Management Office. The
Right.
second question, Doc Isel, is we have regular 8-hour daytime brownouts on Tuesday and Thursday here in our area until September 2020. Will you give consideration to the negative effect on this because of this on my daughter's progress?
Mhm. So if you would notice, although there are preset schedule done simultaneously or preset in terms of real time interaction with the teachers, of course there are actually other time of the entire week that you could also connect with your teachers or the subject teachers. So that only since attendance is actually not simply a mandate for all the students to be engaged actually into the real time interaction. It's just that you can use the remaining numbers or the remaining number of hours in the week to to be connected with the subject teacher. And for this, the learning modules again are there, so you could actually try that on your own, and you could actually download that so that. Even if that is actually during brownout periods, you could actually have it on plate in your respective gadgets. No need to actually have it done or done online or synchronously with the rest of the group. So yeah, and then of course, again, should there be problems, the consultation hours are in place. We're actually thinking, especially for the lower grade levels, that the consultation for the parents be done even after office hours, considering that they're actually working also, and therefore the allotted time will somehow be in the evenings and of course during Saturday. So we're actually looking also into that so that we become also engaged with the learning journey of our students. And of course, again, if you do have these concerns, please ensure to always prompt your subject teacher relative to the concerns or difficulty that you may have, because all of these will actually be put into consideration for the assessments to be submitted or to be complied with alongside with the other requirements of the subject or the program.
Thank you, Doc Isel. I think one of my biggest, realizations while we're preparing and planning for learning continuity, and now, with border-free education, is that we're really all of us. I think even the Ivy Leagues in the U.S. are struggling in shifting to a fully online model. And I think, judging by the questions today from our panelists and viewers, that we are all part. We should cooperate in terms of sort of evaluating how to best proceed in this new normal, as we'd say. Thank you, Doc Isel. I think that's just the time that we have for today. But there are a few questions that I've seen on YouTube that I want to answer personally. There was a follow-up question in terms of what are the Microsoft Office applications that come with your access to the MS Office suite. So you actually, any of us who have an email account, the DLSL email account, have access to the entire suite of Microsoft Office. So that includes Microsoft PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and I think a few more applications that come with the Microsoft Office suite. So thank you, everyone. I'm afraid that we have reached the end of our webinar. But this will surely be not the last of our webinars. There are a few comments, and we're looking into this in terms of there are requests for webinars for each specific segment, like for junior high school, for senior high school. So we will have plans to have that in the near future. Of course, this will be again. Will not be the last of our webinars and activities. We will continue to bring you the latest updates on our border-free education in the coming days, leading up to the opening of classes on August 24, 2020, exactly 2 weeks from today. Again, let us present and thank the panelists today, and of course our distinguished speakers from our school administration. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Ma'am Beth, Sir Dennis, Carl, Sir Henson, Sir Owie, Doc Isel, and of course Ma'am Mefen, Carmen Ramirez. Thank you very much, and we hope that we see you again in the future. Thank you. The past few hours have been very insightful, hopefully fun and inspiring. Let me just share that DLSL Lipa applications are still ongoing for those who are interested. For inquiries, you may call the number 302-2900 or visit our website at www.dlsl.edu.ph. Later today, please join. Don't forget, please join another exciting webinar on our integrated school, IS Parents Orientation at 1:30 p.m. The link to the event has already been posted to the parents portal. Make sure you have one. For those who are having issues with accessing their parents portal, please contact the numbers that you are seeing on the screen or email us. Announcements for the opening of classes and other details will be posted on your Canvas accounts. Thank you again, and we hope to see you in our future sessions. And remember, with DLSL Lipa's Border-Free Education, we are all empowered, engaged, and enabled. God bless you all. Stay safe. Maraming salamat po.